Hi, this is Eva Cartman, host of the Dream Big podcast show, the place to go to learn, laugh, and grow. Today may be one of the most important episodes I've ever published. We are going to hear from Kechi Okwuchi. You may recognize the name because she was Simon Cowell's golden buzzer on America's Got Talent, and she has been a guest on the Dream Big podcast. If you know Kechi's story, you know that she survived a horrific plane crash as a teenager, but suffered burns all over her body. While she has not let this tragic incident destroy her dreams, bullies continue to say mean and terrible things about the way Kechi looks. I know that bullies and cyberbullies are a huge problem in our schools and online. So I thought there was no better person for me to ask about how to react when you come across a bully. With school starting up this month for most students, whether you are going back in person or doing virtual learning, this advice cannot be more timely. Speaking of time, you know what time it is. This is episode 213 of the Dream Big podcast, and it's time to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Before we dive into this week's content, here's some jokes from Silly Sophia.
What do you call a pig that knows karate? A pork chop. Ha 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 ha. What does a spider's bride wear? A webbing dress.
Thank you, Sophia. Big dreamers, we are trying something new, and I'd like for you to help us out. When you have a moment with your family, check out sharewhathappened.com/dreambig. I'll include a link in the show notes as well at dreambigpodcast.com/213. On that page, you will see a video of me asking a series of simple questions that you can answer about how the Dream Big podcast has impacted your life. I want to hear from you and celebrate your accomplishments. Through the end of August, for anyone who participates and shares with me their experience with Dream Big, I'll be filming a personalized video response to say thank you for taking the time to share with me and to congratulate you on the amazing progress you are making. So again, please go with your parents to sharewhathappened.com/dreambig or dreambigpodcast.com/213. where we will post the link if that's easier. I can't wait to see your videos and send a video back to you. Okay, now let's turn our attention to this week's amazing guest, Kechi. My family first found out about Kechi when we were watching one of our favorite TV shows, America's Got Talent, a few years ago. We were moved by her talent and her story. You see, Kechi was one of the two survivors in a tragic plane crash on December 10th, 2005 in Nigeria. She was the only student out of 60 classmates from her high school to survive the crash. She suffered horrific injuries and burns all over her body, and you can imagine how most everyone would have let this experience destroy their life. But Kechi chose a different path. Not only was she a finalist in 2017 season of America's Got Talent, but she was invited back to compete in the America's Got Talent Champion Show and got Simon Cowell's golden buzzer. And I remember our whole family being so excited for her when the gold confetti was falling all around her. I actually already interviewed Kechi in episode 130 of the Dream Big podcast, which I'll include a link to in this show notes. It is one of the interviews that I'm most proud of, and I really connected with Kechi and was so inspired by her that I recently reached out and asked her if she would be willing to come back on the podcast again. This time I wanted to speak with her about bullying and cyberbullying, which with school starting back up after summer is a topic that I know unfortunately will become relevant for many students again. So what I did was record a question, which I'll play now, and then Kechi sent back her response. So it's not a typical back and forth interview like you're used to, but I think the tips she shared will be incredibly helpful, and she really gave a deep and thoughtful response that I'm so grateful for. If you want to see the video version of her response, then go to the show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/213. And you'll find a link to our Instagram and YouTube where we will publish this too. So without further ado, here's my question about bullying and Kechi's insightful answer.
Hi, Kechi. It's Eva from the Dream Big podcast. I know one of your biggest passions is bullying prevention. Well, school's been canceled right now, so kids may not be getting bullied in person at school. Now everyone is online, and I know a lot of kids are getting cyberbullies. While 99% of the people on social media acknowledge how beautiful you are, there are always those few bad apples that say terrible things about your burns. And I always admire how you don't let those cyberbullies tear you down and continue to spread your talent and love with the world. Can you share your feelings on cyberbullying and how you react when people say mean things to you? We love you, Kechi, and have been your biggest fan since Simon gave you that golden buzzer. Keep on singing and sharing your unique gift with the world.
Hey Eva, hi to all your listeners. Thank you so much for having me once again on the Dream Big podcast. Happy to be here. So yes, cyberbullying. This is something that I feel very strongly about for sure. Something that I try to advocate very heavily against on my social media platforms. Especially today where everyone's pretty much at home, kids and adults, and all our communication is mainly online now. So I think it's something that needs to be addressed given today's, COVID-19 climate. I feel like what's important with cyberbullying is how we choose to respond to it. So your question was, how do I respond to cyberbullying when people try to bully me about my scars and my burns, and what's my take on it? So, cyberbullies are pretty much attention seekers. These are people who thrive off the response and the reaction that they hope to get from you with their comments, right? And I think it's important that we understand that we shouldn't feel bad about wanting to respond to such negative comments, okay? We are all human, and it's a natural human instinct and desire to want to be liked by everyone. So when we see negative things about ourselves, we immediately want to challenge that, and we want to engage a person who comes at us in a negative way. So that's a natural response. Don't feel bad about wanting to be liked, okay? It's only through experience and growing and maturing that you come to understand that the only opinions and the only feelings about you that matter are the ones from people who like you and love you for who you really are, who love your authentic self. We only learn that as we grow older and we understand some things about how life is, so don't feel bad about wanting to be liked or wanting to respond to a bully. But the question is, if I am bullied about my scars or my burns, what do I do? I think there's two levels to this. First of all, how do you literally deal with that negative comment that's on your page? How do you literally deal with that? So first thing that I do, 99% of the time, I don't even respond at all. I don't even acknowledge that it exists. I don't acknowledge the comment. I don't say anything. Like I said, they're attention seekers. They just want to get a rise out of you most of the time. So don't give them that satisfaction. Don't even acknowledge the comment, pretty much. That's my go-to first response to such things. And a lot of times, negative comments are buried under a sea of positive comments. It's only natural that we tend to zero in on the one negative comment out of 1,000 positive comments. It's just a natural thing that human beings do, unfortunately. But I try to fight that urge to focus on that by focusing on all the positive things that people are saying instead. So I don't respond, okay? Now, second thing that I may do is that I may delete the comment. This is my social media page. This is me. This is my page. It's my Instagram. It's my Snapchat. It's my Twitter. It's my Facebook, whatever platform you're on. That is your profile, So you have complete control over the content that you put out on your profile. I don't have to tolerate negative comments on my page if I don't want to. So I might just decide to delete the comment. I have the power to do that. So why not exercise that power? The third thing that I might do, in fact, if depending on the consistency of the commenting or how horrible and hurtful the comment is, I may decide to not only delete the comment, but block that user from accessing my page and report that person as well. So it's not just about blocking. you have to also report, because if they're doing it to you, there's a chance that they're doing it to someone else. And it's not just about you, okay? It's about everyone else that person has access to, and everyone else that they have the chance to hurt. So deleting that comment, blocking that user, and reporting that user helps prevent that person from getting on your page and saying nonsense, and also prevents them from doing the same thing to another person. Because then Instagram or Facebook or Twitter will then make sure that they do whatever they do to a profile that's, doing things like that, that's going around and bullying people. So I think the most important thing about these three things, ignoring or deleting or blocking and reporting, or doing all three, is to not engage the person by stooping to their level. That's the most important thing. I think that it's just, you don't want to end up in a situation where you're having a back and forth with a bully. It's unnecessary, and most of the time just ends up getting very nasty and just ends up hurting you even more. So you don't have to do these things. Don't engage, because that's definitely you stooping to their level and showing them that you have their time, which you should not, So that's how I literally deal with cyberbullies when they come at me about my scars or anything else. But then there's a second level when it comes to bullying, cyberbullying specifically. And that is that even though you have dealt with this thing in a literal way, you've gotten rid of the person's access to your page, the words that they said to you can still hurt. And I think that this is the part that is most difficult to deal with long term, because the things that people say, they linger in the mind, So how do you deal with the emotional and mental consequences, of the words that a bully may say to you online? This, I think, stems from something very important, and that is how you feel about yourself. What I've noticed about cyberbullies is that they try to come at you through things that they feel are your most insecure aspects of yourself. So they try to attack you based on what they think you're most insecure about. That's what gives a bully power, So the only way I feel like I can combat something like that is to completely embrace everything about myself, flaws and all. Embrace my quirks, the little things that make me who I am. Love everything about myself. Just love yourself and accept yourself. And when I say yourself, I mean your genuine, authentic, your real self. I feel like the more you have love for yourself, the more self-love you have, the more you embrace your uniqueness, I feel like the less power bullies have over you. So basically, embrace everything about yourself, and you take away a bully's power. Because then that thing that they feel like they can bully you about, that thing they feel like is something negative about you, you've embraced it as part of you. You've embraced it as that thing that makes you unique. There's some things about Kechi that no one else can say that they have. And so a bully can't come at me based on those things, because I've embraced those things about Kechi, So that's really how I feel about that, Basically, just love yourself, love everything about yourself, and you take away a bully's power to bully you based on those things, because now you love them, So I think that's really how I deal with cyberbullying, that's pretty much what I do. Yeah, I hope that this really helps someone out there that listens to this podcast. I know this went on for really long, but yeah, I'm very passionate about it. And another thing that I may do sometimes is, if I encounter a really negative and hurtful comment that someone makes, I use it as a learning experience or a learning opportunity for other people. So I take that situation and I might make a post about it, addressing that situation, where I try to use it as a way to help other people if they experience such things. But this is only because I have quite a few people following me, and I have a platform where I have a chance to do a lot of good and spread a lot of positivity. So if someone comes at me negatively, I try to take that experience and spin it into something positive for other people's benefit, basically. So that's something you can do as well if you feel like you have people that look up to you and you want to put out a good message out there for them to see. So yeah, thank you so much, Eva. I hope this helps someone again. Thank you so much for having me on your platform once again. You guys remember, stay strong and stay safe and dream big.
See, I told you this might be one of the most powerful episodes ever. Thank you, Kechi, for taking the time to provide such a detailed and thoughtful response. I know it's going to help so many students as we get ready for the new school year, whether that's back in school or online. As always, all the links to everything we discuss are on our show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/213. If you've not seen Kechi's Golden Buzzer performance on America's Got Talent, we'll include a link in our show notes, and we highly encourage you to watch it. You'll be crying tears of joy by the end. And again, please do visit sharewhathappened.com/dreambig to share with me how Dream Big has impacted your life. And I'll be committing to send a personalized video response to everyone who participates in August. You'll find links to everything at dreambigpodcast.com/213. That's all for today. This is Eva Cartman reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional. You need to make them essential. So take massive action to turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion, the way life was meant to be. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!